Hello, everybody out there. Today we are going to learn some of the most general vocabulary terms that has to do with forces. Forces is the next big unit. It's actually where we get to actually do some experimenting around with some collisions and stuff. So it's not all math, but there is some math behind it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So, force defined. Uh, force is basically any influence that can cause a change in an object's motion. Such as in this picture, the bat is changing the motion of the ball because it causes it to stop for a split second and then sends it out in the opposite direction at the speed of the batter's swing and the direction of their swing. So that's basically a force. Any influence that can cause a change in an object's motion. So if something changes an object's motion, that is known as a force. Further defined, a force can also be a push or a pull that one object exerts over another, such as gravity likes to pull you towards the ground because gravity is always a force, or a push or applied force, saying like you have a pen laying down on your desk right next to you right now, and you just push it, and that's an applied force. Forces are measured in newtons, so the SI unit for forces are newtons. So that concludes just plain old force for right now. Now we will go to net force. All right, every object, pretty much at all times, has several forces acting on them. Right now, I am sitting in a chair, so I have the force of gravity pulling me down towards the earth, and I have the force of the chair pushing me back up. So right there, we have two net forces that are balanced out to zero, mainly because I'm not falling. So basically, the net force is a combination of all forces on an object. Sometimes it's zero, sometimes it's not zero. With that said, let's see what that actually means. All right. So, balanced and unbalanced forces. So, we see the tug of war here. And balanced forces, such as the tug of war with no winner here, there's no acceleration or no movement. Just like me sitting in the chair is balanced because I'm not moving either. Although, if you go to unbalanced forces, they're not the same, and one side is bigger than the other, and therefore it's moving, aka causing acceleration. So balanced forces do not change in motion, cancel each other out, combine to produce a net force of zero. And unbalanced forces do not equal zero, and they actually cause acceleration or movement. All right, last vocabulary word for today is friction. Friction is basically a force that stops objects from sliding against each other. The amount of friction depends on what the materials are made of. Sandpaper is going to have more friction than smooth sheet metal. And the rule of friction is friction always acts in the opposite direction of the opposing motion. So if you're pushing something right, the friction is acting to the left. Sorry. So if you're moving something along your table, the friction is pushing backwards against yourself. So say you just move your hand against the top of the table. The friction is actually pushing in the opposite direction. So that is friction. Also, there is a well-known equation for force. Force equals mass times acceleration, which that might be helpful on your quiz. So with these vocabulary words, just go over them, study them real hard. There's a quiz that goes along with this. Should do very well. It's pretty simple. as long as you can refer back to your notes if you need to. So good luck with that, and have a good weekend. And I will be available tomorrow afternoon for any questions if you need me. All right. Well, y'all stay safe out there and stay healthy. And I will talk to y'all again next week or tomorrow if you tune in. All right. Later, and have a good one.